Welcome to another video. As we could experience recently that there are some things in life you can easily get by making it to the certain exclusive list, but today I want to talk about the stuff you have to work hard for, namely relic weapons. Yet there are some shiny weapons that can already be acquired with minimal effort, especially if you divide all the available relics into certain stages, so let me give you my best recommendations for a very good value and effort relation. But remember that this list only serves as a good representation of relic weapons and armors to be relevant for your glamour sets. So if you're looking for the actual value of the strength of your character, the recent Shadowbringers relic is the only one that makes sense to grind. But apart from that, there are so many shiny beauties already, so let us hop in for getting the sexiest weapons in no time. Starting with my absolute favorite recommendation when it comes to minimal effort for a shiny weapon. The first or precisely second stage of the Zodiac Relic Weapon, which is featured in a realm Reborn and can easily be hunted down in 1 to 2 hours, starting from scratch and without preparing anything. Yet the reward already is your shiny Zenith weapon, which can look extremely cool already. Just check out the ninja for example. And apart from unlocking certain quest areas, fetching materials from one dungeon and some trials, beating the crap out of open world mobs or melding in materia into one raw version of your weapon, this step doesn't require you to spend time nor effort, as these are basically self-explanatory. But of course, if you're still stuck somewhere, check out my guide about this exact step to get some awesome shiny Zenith weapons in no time. Very close to this step, but a tad longer in spent time, you will find the first shiny stage of the Heavensward Rally, which will lead you to unlock all the required quests, venture into Asesla, back to Mordona, and then spend time in grinding down some fates in Heavensward areas, which shouldn't take you much more than 1 hour, as they have increased the drop chance of these luminous crystals significantly. After that, you will be sent into a retrospective of some dungeons, which you can run unsynced. Oh, by the way, reaching level 80 with a kinda solid item level and equipment will heavily decrease the completion time of nearly all signature relic weapons, except the Eureka and Bozja content maybe. But at least hit level 70 before thinking about these grinds at all. One thing about this step in Heavensward though, make sure to equip your relic weapon at least when leaving the dungeon, otherwise you won't get rewarded with progress. Above that, and when you're starting this Heavensward relic anyways, make sure to collect Elagan Tomestones of Poetics over your whole Eorzean journey and spend them in Idleshire or Mordona for all sorts of Heavensward relic materials, if you stack them up or just want to prepare hunting down your Anima relic in no time. Because all in all, most steps do require materials that you can get for Poetics, but more to that later. Before thinking about finishing your Heavensward relic weapon completely, which is still the easiest relic weapon as a whole, there's another one that doesn't take more than 3 to 4 hours, namely the first shiny version of the Shadowbringers relic weapon, which according to many people's feedback is already a damn good looking weapon, and some consider it as being much cooler than the final step of the Shadowbringers weapon. So it's definitely worth it to grind this step at least. The first requirement here is to have completed the Shadowbringers main scenario quest, until and including the quest called Shadowbringers. Above that, you also have to check your progress boxes for the Ivalice raid series, which means completing it. Because Bozja and the Shadowbringers relic is kinda connected with it story-wise. Then you just take a ship from the Doman Enclave to visit Gangos. Here you need to complete a very story-driven quest, get your first 485 weapons for free, and have to progress into Bozja. The trick with this step, and if you're really after the relic weapon all alone, venture into Bozja until you get the quest for your relic weapon, where you have to collect certain colored memories. These can be found during Bozja events, but do drop much more reliable in Heavensward fates, so check out my short guide about it and how to farm these in no time. After that, you will have to take up some level 60 dungeons that you have to run the normal way, or run your duty related leveling for progress, but only once per day. This whole fate and dungeon grind will take you round about 4 to 5 hours, according to your reading speed or completion of fates. And when looking at the gorgeous design of these weapons, you should really consider doing this step, even when you're not putting your feet into Bozja afterwards. Okay, these are kinda the first stages that can be accessed before taking up the relic journey as a whole, but even there you will find significant differences in the time-effort relation, so let us talk about it as well. First of all, if you're up to the task and don't fear to participate in usual duty finder dungeons many times, the Heavensward Anima relic as a whole is still by far the easiest relic weapon to complete and to gather, and even before finishing the whole quest line, there are multiple steps that you could easily fall in love with already. But nonetheless, once started, you just keep going, it won't take that long anymore. The big bonus on the Heavensward Anima Relic is that you can complete most of the grind passively, and when knowing exactly what you need to spend your poetics for, you can just use whatever tomestones of poetics you get to catch up materials. I would dare to say, if you have gathered up the special arms stuff in advance, this whole series doesn't take more than 10 hours total to be completed afterwards. So just hop in there, check out my Anima Relic Weapon guides and start prepping some special arms materials for your character. And even when not preparing anything, this is still the most rewarding relic weapon of all times, especially for jobs like the Dark Knight, Dragoon or Summoner for example, offering one of the most unique weapon designs you can find in Final Fantasy XIV. Okay, after this and featuring cool and unique designs, there is the A Realm Reborn Relic Weapon questline, which is actually not that hard, but there's definitely a little bit of time investment to be spent here, especially on the book stage or when you have to grind down specific fates. Nonetheless, I did the whole series on stream, and for those of you that know the scarcity of my streaming appearance, it is possible to complete this step without spending a whole lockdown of doing things. And as I'm still working on a comprehensive guide about these steps, until I finished it, check out consolegameswiki.com and the summary from Grell Gaming, which is still phenomenal info and super helpful to guide you along the way. Also visit certain websites and articles about the Zodiac relic, offering super nice and helpful tips for every participant. Besides, even if this whole step may take you at least 1 or 2 days in active playtime, the weapon is worth it, and I was really glad to have farmed it for my paladin. Of course, when talking about relic weapons, we cannot ignore Eureka and Bozja, forming Stormblood's and Shadowbringers relic content that is even more designed to spend your time with, redefining the term grind once again. Starting with Eureka, while the first shiny stage of Bozja is an easy and quick takeaway, the first Anima's shiny weapon isn't, because after unlocking all sorts of things in Eureka, you have quests in there to complete, level up to elemental level 20 and get 3 Pazuzu feathers plus a whole bunch of Anima's clusters, which requires you to participate in a good amount of notorious monster events, which are basically self-spawned fates, and at least for the feathers, you're going to have a group with 5 or more people. So, this content is group dependent and scales up and down with the active number of players significantly. So, my recommendation here, get those Anima's relic weapons, because for some jobs they are super cool already, and some of them are even inside of my top favorite weapon choices and all-time favorites. And if that wasn't too stressful for you, keep it going, because this content will also offer one, if not the coolest set of armors in game, so let us hunt them down together. Yes, I also haven't completed Eureka yet, and as soon as I do, there will be a guide coming out to sum it up all together. Until then, check out Mr. Happy's guides about this content or guides on other pages. If I would have to bet for a total amount of time required to complete this, at least 2 to 3 days in playtime. But if you find a group that is rushing from zero to finish altogether, this can be done much more quickly. The kinda same applies to Bozja, which is basically the content where most of you are actually way further into than I am right now, because I'm still stuck before the time-worn artifacts. But on the other hand, I'm kinda glad that I can make use of the Tuesday's hotfix. And of course, there will be a follow-up guide on this as well, but for both of these, while rewarding armor sets and weapons alike, they will cost you some serious amount of time and effort to spend, so get in there, take it slowly but constantly, and try to at least finish Bozja before Endwalker. Because you can never be sure to 100% that this group demanding content will still have active participation when Endwalker launches. But since Eureka is totally group dependent as well and still is going nuts on Shadowbringers, chances are actually high that we will be able to finish it in Endwalker. Alright, I hope this is able to sum up my personal recommendations and offering a basic overview about the time investment and rewards you're looking at on the relic department. So check out the many guides about the Heavensward, the one guide about ARR's relic, and I will keep you updated about this whole section of the game like always. Become what you must, become the relic hunter of darkness. And until you have received them all, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep loving Final Fantasy.